Friends, welcome back. This is the chapter which, in my knowledge, in my idea, this is one chapter which gives you all the headache in C, isn't it? Let's see the name of the chapter, then you will be clear whether it gives you headache or not. Now, are you clear? Now, this is a chapter which gives a lot of tension to people who are learning languages, who are new to languages, learning C or C++. When this chapter comes, all our headache begins, isn't it? Why is it so, friends? Why is it that pointers are so difficult for us? Or pointers are, you can say hate pointers as a chapter. You know, let's simply understand how pointer works. And believe me, if in a simple way you understand how it works and how it is implemented, the implementation part is not at all difficult, believe me. You need to implement it. Once you start implementing pointers, then you will not have a problem. Once you see it anywhere, you can understand what is happening, why this kind of statement is there, what is the translation, those are things. So let's start with it, friends. Let's start with the definition of a pointer. What is the definition of a pointer? Almost all of us know the definition of a pointer. The definition of a pointer is it's a variable that keeps the address of another variable in memory, isn't it? So first thing about pointers is pointer is a variable. And this word, I underlined this word, variable. Why did I underline this? First of all, you need to understand what is a variable. We all think we know what is a variable. Yes, we know, of course, we have been using a variable, but do we really understand how it works? Let's see. What is a variable, first of all? Because we are saying pointer is a variable, so first of all we will understand variables, then we get into pointers. So tell me, what is a variable? To make it a simple thing for you, I'll go for this. Let's say int var. This, we all are familiar with this kind of a statement, isn't it? Var is the name of the variable. It's of type integer, that is called data type, and it will carry a value 10. Now, when you look at this, try to understand what is a variable. A variable is a named entity. Very simple. Variable is a named entity which may or may not hold a value of certain type. Type will always be associated with a variable. A variable cannot be without a type. Type will always be there for a variable. Along with a type, it will also carry a value. It may or may not carry a value. Got it? But it's compulsory that it will take memory, it will occupy memory. For example, where here, if I say I am using a 32-bit compiler, on a 32-bit compiler, integer data type takes 4 bytes. That means it will take 4 consecutive bytes of memory, 4 consecutive bytes of memory in RAM, in internal memory, random access memory. When I start, when I declare and define this variable called var. Got it? Have a look at this slide. This will tell you about the memory representation, how bits and bytes are represented. Just an example. And those numbers which you are seeing at the top are just, to tell you that each one of them is 1 byte. For example, 1211, 1212, 1213, they are bytes, 1 byte each. Okay, and every byte is how many bits? 8 bits. This is how the memory representation is, or it looks like. Okay, got it? For any variable, be it any variable in memory, memory representation will be like this. Suppose I say this, I say float price equal to some name. A float variable will take how many bytes? 4 bytes. Now three things will happen. First, it will have a name, that is price. This name will be using throughout the program. The data type here which I am pointing out is float, which will indicate, which will tell us that it will take 4 bytes of space. Alright, and it may or may not have a value. Let's have a value. Let's look at this slide to understand it better. Look at the slide. Float price, that is the declaration part. Then comes price equal to 45.75. That is assigning a value. And mind it, the moment you assign a value, it will be known as definition. Declaration is when you give it a name with a type. The moment you put a value into it, it will be definition. So if you put those two lines together, float price equal to 45.75, that will, in a single line, if you write float price equal to 45.75, it will simply mean it's a declaration come assignment. That means it becomes a definition. Now look at the memory representation. It is taking 4 bytes. Okay, got it? It is taking 4 bytes of space where the value is stored, and the address. Look at the address. It gives you the address of the byte in the higher order. 6234 is the address, and that we can term as the starting address of the variable in memory. Got it? Clear with this? So this is how your variable is stored. Now remember, whenever you access a variable, the thing that happens when you access a variable is very simple. If I say float price, suppose this variable I am talking about, when I declare it, when I start using it, what will happen? An entry for this variable is made in something called symbol table. This is purely internal, we don't have to bother about it, but still then we need to know it. Symbol table is the place where the details of this variable will be stored. So whenever you do some action, whenever you do any kind of operation on this variable, always there has to be a symbol table lookup. To pick up the value, we need to go to symbol table to find out price every time you do some operation. This is how variables are accessed. So three things: a variable will have a type, it need to have a name, it may or may not have a value, but compulsory it will occupy memory when you start using it. Got this? When we are talking about memory, we also said memory will have an address. Okay, so this is when pointers come into play. We are starting off with pointers. So let's now understand. We said pointer is a variable. So now we are saying, we understood a variable, we are saying pointer is also a variable. So how these two are related? Let's look at this. Integer val equal to 12, and look at this line, integer star p. Now let's look at these two lines and let's understand. Both are variables. One is a normal variable, another is a pointer variable. Let's understand these two separately. Okay. First of all, if I ask you to read this, you'll read as what? Integer variable called val having a value 12. Normally left to right we can easily read it. I'll say val is the name of the variable, it's of integer type, and it will have a value 12. So now if I look at memory representation, supposing it is taking 4 bytes of space, these are 4 bytes, and the location here is 101, assuming. This is where val is stored. Being an integer, it takes 4 bytes, as I said, assuming it's a 32-bit or higher compiler you are using. Now val will have the value is 12. Spread across these 4 bytes. Just imagine this is 4 bytes of space which is occupied to store the value. Got it? So 12 is a value which is stored across these 4 bytes. So if I look at it, 101, 102, 103, 104. These are the, now mind it, these are imaginary addresses. For clarity's sake, for understanding, we are just using this. Okay, addresses are always, representation is always in hexadecimal, so it can't be integer. Okay, but still then we are just trying to, clearly understand. Got it? So this is what will happen in case of val. So this is how I read val. Now come here. This asterisk tells us that p is not an ordinary variable. It is always, it's not a rule, not written anywhere. It is just a method. Try and read a pointer always from right to left. Whenever you are reading a pointer, whenever you are translating it, always do that from right to left. That way it will become easier for you. How? Read this from right to left. You say P is a, asterisk indicates what? It's a pointer. So I said P is a pointer of which type? Integer type. Now, in case of val, integer is a data type. Isn't it? That means val will store what type of data? Integer. Let's talk about P. P is a pointer. Again, on a 32-bit compiler, a pointer will take 4 bytes again. So at some place it will take 4 bytes again. Let's say the location is 522 where I define it. Got it? At this location, it is consecutively taking 4 bytes of space where this P is defined. But the big question is, what will be the contents of P? Imagine. The contents of P will be the address of a variable of which type? Integer type. Now look at the difference. When I say val, the data type is integer. But when I say P, the data type is address. Address is of one type. Address cannot be for an integer, it cannot be a separate type of address. For a character, it cannot be a separate type of address. Address means always hexadecimal values. Got it? So then what is the significance of saying int? When I know, see, suppose, now how do you keep the address of val in P? Because see, P is a pointer of integer type, val is a variable of integer type. So P being a pointer of integer type can hold the address of an integer. So what I say here is P equal to ampersand val. I'm sorry. Now ampersand, otherwise called the address of operator. Okay, you call it ampersand or address of. It gives you the address of a variable. It returns the address of a variable. So ampersand being the address of operator will give you the address of val. What is the address? It will give us, as we said, the starting address 101 here. So 101 will be stored here. Now look at the difference between the two. Val holds a value that is 12, but P holds a value that is 101. And what is this value? This value is always of type hexadecimal. The representation here is as an integer. Don't get confused about that. Just for, as I said, for understanding we are doing this. But P will always have what kind of a value? Hexadecimal value. Now, once again, P may be a pointer of any type, but it will have a hexadecimal value. So then what is the significance of this int? The type. Okay. The significance of the type is to tell the compiler that P can hold the value of only an integer type variable. Why? Just now we said address is of one type only. So P can hold the value of let's say a float variable. That is also an address. P can hold an address. No. This in case of P, int is called the association type. It is not called the data type. Why I say association type? Because this is what is important in case of pointer operations. Whenever you try to manipulate P, to get the value of P, look at this. P has the address, assuming P has the address of val. And let's once again have these two variables, val at a location 101 having a value of 12. Now P is a pointer at a location, let's say 422, having the address of val that is 101. Got it? This is the scenario. Got it? Now look at what you get when you do the translation. If you say val, you will get the value inside, that is 12. If you say ampersand val, what you will get? The address of val, that is 101. If you say asterisk val, what will you get? This is not allowed. I'll tell you why. This is illegal. This cannot be used on a normal variable. Asterisk is used as value of value at. I'm sorry. Like I said, ampersand, it is called address of operator. It is called the address of operator. Asterisk is known as the value at operator. Okay. Now, how can I use asterisk? Now look at the translation. This is the translation for val. Now look at the translations for p. Only p gives you what? The value inside p, that is 101. And what is 101? The address of val. Remember that. Ampersand p. Address of p itself. What is the address? 422. Clear with this? And if I say asterisk p, translate this. Asterisk means what? Value at. Value at p returns what? 101, which is an address. So value at 101. Value at 101 is how much? 12. So this will give me how much? 12. Now the same thing we tried to, same asterisk we tried to use with asterisk, val. Try to recall. When I use it with val, what will happen? Just imagine. Value at, val gives you what? 12. 12 is an integer value. So it says, it will tell you it is an illegal operation which you are attempting. Got it? So now understand why I said int is the association type for p, the pointer called p, because this will decide how many bytes the pointer will read or skip during an operation. Remember, when you are saying star p, what exactly you are saying? You are saying value at where p is pointing. P has an address 101, so value at 101. Now when you say value at 101, look at the location 101. How many bytes val is taking? 4 bytes, no? So how many bytes need to be read? 4 bytes. If I read a single byte less, I can't get this value. I have to read 4 bytes from this location to get the value of val, isn't it? Who will tell that to the compiler? The scaling factor or the association type. Now in case of pointer, what is important, what is most important for you to understand is it has something called a scaling factor. Now if you understand this properly, half of your problems are gone. Okay, in case of int star p, which was our declaration, p is a pointer of integer type. What will be the scaling factor of p? It will be size of integer. That is how many bytes? 4 bytes. That means during any operation with p, you will either read or skip 4 bytes. Doing pointer arithmetic, will take care of pointer arithmetic later on. Only adding and subtracting, addition and subtraction is allowed. There again, the scaling factor is 4 bytes. Anytime you add something or subtract something, it will be 4 bytes always. Got it? Clear with this? So this is how, this is the most important thing about pointers. Understand that. So friends, let's have an example before we finish up this part 1 about pointers, because pointers will continue, will go across multiple sessions to understand pointers with various things. But before I finish up, let's have an example where I'll be printing address in different formats. Let's see. Let's print addresses and try to differentiate between those types of addresses. Alright, let's look at this example. The variable is x having a value 10. With percentile d, I am printing the value. With percentile u, look at that. I am printing in decimal the same address. With percentile x, I am printing the address in hexadecimal, and again with percentile p also. Now understand here, percentile x and percentile p both can be used to print the address in hexadecimal. Percentile x you can mention as capital X or small x. Okay, no problem with that. So this is just an example of how address of a variable in different forms is printed or displayed. Alright. So friends, just started a pointers, relax and follow the sessions carefully. At the end of entire pointers, the range, the chapters, I'm sure you'll be fairly comfortable with pointers without any issues. Alright. So friends, take care. Bye bye.